this is what you wish you knew, what I wish you knew before you came to Africa. Don't even think about coming to the continent of Africa. And yes, I know there's over 54 countries. Don't even waste time in the comments telling me that. I live here, so I know that. I have a different frustration today. And it has to do with the point that, well, let me give you the story. Let me just do that. So I was on Facebook recently, and I belong to some different groups, and from motorcycle groups all the way, there goes a motorcycle, all the way to uh, groups where people are expats trying to help anyone who would be moving. And so this one person had a topic that they asked for people to comment on, things, what you wish you knew before moving to Africa. So they're asking current expats living abroad what they wish they'd known before moving. All right. And so I'm giving it to you, and I'm saying to you, don't even come to the continent or certain countries outside of the United States, to be quite honest with you. And don't even think about it, because maybe you're not ready yet. Maybe it's, and here's what I mean. All right. So there's this thing, and I'm going to call it, I'm labeling it the American mindset, and it's based on convenience. Yes, convenience, where you think everything's interconnected. You're used to that. You're used to being in the womb of the United States where everything is taken care of for you. We got a program for this. We got a department for that. We got something, a bowl that everything fits nicely into. And each one of those bowls has a pipeline between the bowls to connect them, interconnected. No, it ain't so. Okay. If you do not get help and allow yourself to detox from the American convenience mindset, this ain't for you. It ain't gonna fly. It ain't gonna work. Okay. What are examples of what I'm talking about? All right. You're used to everything being T's crossed and I's dotted. You can just, I could go from, I remember driving across America from East Coast to the Midwest just to go home for holidays or something like that. And I wouldn't carry money with me. I could use my ATM. I could do whatever was necessary. That ain't gonna happen here. That is not gonna happen here. Um, for example, you think that you're going to often be able to just acquire money from the ATM? That assumes that the power is working. That assumes that the ATM is working. That assumes that your bank isn't going to, for security purposes and for your safety, deny the transaction, which actually had happened at Walmart when I first started wearing glasses, because it was more than what I had usually spent. And they said, oh, for your protection, we denied it. I'm like, but I'm standing here at the Walmart Eye Center. I need these glasses. I'm trying to get up out of here. And so you have to then approve it. What I'm saying is everything don't work smoothly like that, okay? That's one example.
Change your hesitancy, anxiety, and not knowing where to start into a thorough move abroad plan. Whether you've traveled the world or just got your passport, Members Only is for you. For less than 2 cups of Starbucks coffee a month, you get the cultural competence, the budget, the plan, and the must-have tools to make it happen. No more guessing. Welcome to Members Only. Join at the link in the description. Let's get back to the video.
Another example. You think that there's going to be an app for everything. My wife told me to tell you that. You think that you can just click on and get this app and that app, and you'll be able to access whatever you need to do quickly and efficiently. No, that is not happening. Also, WhatsApp. People outside of the United States use some kind of platform or system to interact with other people, and it's going to be WhatsApp. So that's one segment of people. So when you don't want to get on WhatsApp, or you only check it once every 30 days, that means you're going to be missing out on people interacting and coming back and forth because you haven't gotten yourself connected in the pool. The other thing is They may not be on WhatsApp. You may be in Zimbabwe or I don't know, Namibia or someplace, and maybe one person does use WhatsApp, and then you try to go to this other driver or something, and they are not on WhatsApp, or the government agency may not be, and therefore you have to use your second phone because you went ahead and got a second phone, a SIM, a local phone, and you're interacting. Speaking of interacting, here you go, number 3, I guess, language. All right, so I recently forwarded some driver that we use a phone number to somebody, and then it hit me. Oops, translate. You better be able to communicate succinctly and clearly with this person who English is not their first language. Part of the American convenience mindset is that we think everybody's going to be speaking English. And that's just not the case. They're doing that to be nice to us so they can run a business, but they may not even be at that level, or they may be overestimating their ability. And or a quick example is the time, for example, in Swahili, they use a different method of time. It's not based on a 24-hour clock. If you really think about it, it's created by man. I'm talking about where you see biblical things like the third hour of the day. That's where they're operating from. And so if I say one time, they may misunderstand that and thought I meant in the evening when I meant in the morning, this AM, PM stuff. So on this time, I'll try to give you another example. We've had situations where we might say 7 o'clock and we might mean AM, and to them that translates to 1 o'clock in the afternoon in real life, okay, in Kiswahili. Speaking of which, Kiswahili, there are different variations of that. For example, Kenyans speak a different, slightly different kind of Kiswahili, which is really the culture and everything, than maybe in Tanzania or Rwanda or Uganda or something like that. Well, Uganda is English, but anyway, and actually Kenya is mostly English. But my point is, and if you don't believe that, I forgot the name of the movie, but there's this movie where it's a rom-com, and they come from Kenya down to actually Zanzibar, and the guy is from Zanzibar is teasing the young lady from Kenya about her Swahili. So it's even a joke that they would make in their own like movie. Okay, so you got to realize we throw around the term African, which I can understand. We throw around the term Europe, but what the deal is you have to understand there's thousands of other languages. There's tribes, and they're speaking different languages. And so you just can't assume that you'll be able to communicate with someone freely. This is stuff I wish I'd have known before I moved. And I'm telling you, don't come here with the American convenience mindset. So how about, I mentioned the electrical grid. I hope you caught that. Not guaranteed it's going to be flowing all the time. And I'm not talking about just South Africa either, okay? I'm just talking about in general. What about the price of something? So I was recently communicating with someone, and they're coming to, when they take their flight or whatever, they're going to land on one part of the country, and then where they're staying is on the other side, like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, really. And I was like, ooh, that's going to cost some money. But it's not a fixed price kind of environment here. Some places it might be. But whereas I grew up so used to whatever Osco drug, Walgreens, or whatever it is, has the price marked on something, or a taxi, it's going to cost this much. No. This is a negotiating, a haggle environment, and it's based on relationship. And because we're so transactional from a Western mindset versus relational, and when I say relational, I mean to be able to relate to someone who might give you a discount because maybe you don't have that much money in your wallet, or because they know your family, or because you've been shopping there for months. So they say, oh yeah, we're going to give you a little bit off. That's the kind of thing that might go on here. So they don't know you, and they're also, you get to know someone by humorously negotiating with them. So it may cost a tidy sum. It may cost like 60, 80, $90 to make this trip that this person is going to need to make from one side of the country to the other side. Man, research is the key. It is the key. It is the key. It is the key. So in this Facebook group, the question came up, should the person ship their car over to the continent of Africa, or should they purchase one when they get here? It's not that simple. Um, Things become a little more complicated when you're not in a first world country. They become they're not as easy as cutting and dry as that question. There may be VAT taxes that, well, no, there's going to be some VAT taxes to ship it, but there's also possibly, depending on which of the 54 or plus countries you go to, there may be taxes depending on which side of the car your steering wheel is on. And if it's on the wrong side, they might allow it, and with a fee attached to that allowance, saying, okay, so your steering wheel is on this side of the car, and we consider that a hazard here because we drive on the left side of the road. So we're going to let you do this, but we're going to charge you an extra fee for you to be able to do that. Probably a nice hefty fee to be able to do that. It's not that simple and cut and dry to ask just a Facebook question or in an expat app, which there is one, and I belong to it. It's very nice. So just to get a quick answer like that, because what has happened is you become conditioned for convenience, okay? And it's not arranged in that. They're used to kind of roughing it and toughing it, and they've become accustomed to the level of, well, we may not have. We ran out of what's the fish? Not salmon, but goodness, we were at a restaurant, two different restaurants, and they claimed that they had red snapper. It wasn't red snapper. And our close friend said, "This ain't red snapper." And the chef came out and everybody and argued with her. And I was like, wow. When I got home, I was like, let me look this up. You could tell red snapper in an instant what it is and what it ain't. And that was not red snapper. But to them, is it, well, we got you some fish. Be happy. So those are kinds of things I'm thinking about. Speaking of food, so we were in a landlocked country. That has actually nothing to do with this as I think about it. And I ordered a Philly steak and cheese from a restaurant that was run by Americans from Philly. And when, first of all, the motorcycle, which they might call a boda or something like that, is doing the delivery, right? They're not using apps and GPS like that, so they really had trouble finding where we live. That's the first part. So it's taken an hour and a half, and I'm wondering, are they growing the cow, nursing it up, and then whatever, and then I had to go outside and actually flag them down, wave, here I am, yelling down the block, and so when I get in the house and everybody else got their food and I'm the only one who got a Philly steak and cheese, everyone else got a little something different. And they're happy. And I opened up my package last and I'm like, oh, where's the bread? So I called back to the place and said, where's the bread? And they said, oh, would you like bread with that? So what I'm saying to you is that you don't realize the challenges that you're going to face, okay? And they're going to hit you and hit you and hit you and hit you and hit you like a hailstorm, okay? So I really advise you to learn to do some research, and also that apparently is a skill set. Carpentry is a skill set, making money is a skill set, being married is a skill set, and relocating is a skill set. It might behoove you, and we said this, not just myself, but other people in this Facebook question where comments were coming up. I didn't really say it, but the other person said it, and I'm glad she did. You probably want to check in on a relocation specialist to get some help about this car you're thinking about shipping. And I didn't even go through all the things that you could face to do that, to ship this car to another country. Because a person, you're either going to pay the relocation specialist who's going to have experience and have dealt a little bit ahead of you, a couple of steps ahead of you, or a lot of steps ahead of you, or you're either going to pay them or you're going to pay a fee over and over, being nickeled and dimed on what you can do to get that car over. And then you realize you can't do it anyway. As one person put in the comments, they had a shipping container shipped, and when it arrived, it was empty. Think about that. When you try to do things on the cheap, that's exactly what you're doing. You're doing them on the cheap. I'm done. I know I've been venting. Let me just say this. Disabuse yourself of the American convenience mindset. And then once you believe you've done it, realize you haven't done it.